aforementioned, we're going to talk about the LA Dodgers. Ryan's got his Dodgers cap on, looking very sharp there, bud.
Thank
Um,
you.
he's celebrating, of course, the LA Dodgers winning their first World Series since 1988. Um, I will just be upfront and say I did not watch any of the World Series. Did either of you watch a single minute of World Series baseball? Ryan, nodding his head.
I I tuned in for a couple games to be honest, and I was watching that last game, and I seen it 1-0 for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was 2-1, and I could just see Snell getting pulled, and he was not happy.
Yeah.
So that's
So
that's my little.
let's go to that. Blake Snell, pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. I just don't know what the heck happened here. Sixth inning, he's got the hot hand. He's knocking batters down left and right. And just before Mookie Betts, the best hitter for the Dodgers, comes up to the plate, they pull him. Um, I have no idea what happened there. I can't find a reason or a thought or anyone's. They just pulled their best pitcher, which seems like a flat out stupid decision. Usually we can have some analysis. Well, they were thinking this, or they wanted to go to this guy, but it didn't really work out. Nope, they just pulled their best guy, um, and they lost the game. Uh, so I guess shame. We're just shaming everyone. Shame on the Tampa Bay Rays too. You guys were stupid also for pulling Blake Snell. I don't want to get too much inside baseball here. I just kind of want to talk about the circumstances surrounding the World Series because I find that's a lot more fascinating than what actually happened on the baseball diamond. Um, so I'll just say most of my analysis is going to come courtesy of an LA Times article that broke down the whole World Series. So shout out to the LA Times. Thank you for giving me all the information. The LA Dodgers wrapped up the series 4-2, had a little bit of a scare there, but it ended up pulling off the victory, ending their 31-year title drought. And I think what's really interesting is they've been to the World Series 3 times in the last 5 years, I want to say. 3 in the last 4, maybe. And have lost twice in two of the most awful, upsetting ways you can lose sports. And that is to a cheater. They lost to two cheaters, the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros, who were both accused, tried, and found guilty of sign stealing in baseball. So they were robbed twice, and now finally they get the World Series victory. Um, Guys, what do you think of those titles holding up for those cheating teams? That's kind of what I want to get into. Should the Dodgers have 3 World Series right now, or should everyone just be allowed to cheat in baseball? Because cheating's been around in baseball forever,
Yeah.
and as soon as one way gets ironed out of the game, someone finds a new way to cheat. So do you think they should give the Dodgers 3 World Series for this one, or do you guys just not care? Let's move on.
I don't think they should get three. I think the teams that won that cheated should get them taken away. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it should be like, I don't know, like an asterisk year.
Right.
But yeah, baseball's one of those sports where you can just find new ways to cheat all the time.
There's always
And
some way to cheat.
it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it cheapens the sport. And
Yeah.
then the other person I want to shame, I'm just coming out knocking down everyone, is Rob Manfred, or Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, who is a clown. He came out this last summer after the Houston Astros were found guilty of cheating and called the World Series trophy just a piece of metal, which made nobody happy. Sometimes you can say things that make some people happy and some people unhappy. He managed to make everyone unhappy in baseball. And then now he has to stand out on the field and hand that piece of metal to the LA Dodgers, who were cheated out of that piece of metal twice in a row, and he didn't care. And everyone hates Rob Manfred. I hate Rob Manfred. He's a clown. Um, I don't know if you guys know
I hate
who
him
it is.
too.
Yeah.
I hate him too.
I don't
What
know
a
if
bum.
you guys can build off that in any way. That's just more, like seriously, you're gonna come out and call the trophy for your sport a piece of metal as the
Yeah.
commissioner.
How'd you get hired?
Yeah.
How'd you keep your job?
Yeah, I have no idea how he survived this Houston Astros crap. He fumbled it all the way to the finish line, and I don't know. Yeah, there's some
I,
bad sports league commissioners out there, but Rob Manfred, clown.
I don't know how there's physical evidence of the cheating and there's still
I know.
like nothing actually done. Like the Astros shouldn't be the winners, the Red Sox shouldn't be winners.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
This Rob guy definitely was picked last in every pickup game growing up. He's like, oh, it's just a game. It's just for fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what an idiot. And then someone else I wanted to shout out. We're gonna do a new segment coming up soon called Fan Favorites, where we get to talk about our favorite things from the week. And Clayton Kershaw would have been my pick if we weren't kind of breaking down the World Series. But man, so happy for Clayton Kershaw. As someone who doesn't follow baseball, I'm still well aware of Clayton Kershaw. 13th season in the league. He's got 3 Cy Young awards. This is his 3rd World Series appearance, and he finally won one. He's one of those guys. It's the John Elway, LeBron James problem, where everyone goes, this team gets to the top of the mountain and loses the final game, and everyone wants to blame the best player on the team. When you look at it and you go, okay, if not for let's use LeBron James. If not for LeBron James, those early Cavs teams would have been nowhere near the playoffs. But as soon as they get deep into the playoffs and lose, everyone wants to blame LeBron when it's like they wouldn't have been there in the first place without LeBron. So Clayton Kershaw finally getting off the schneid, winning a World Series. Man, congratulations to him. Big clap up for Clayton Kershaw. I just love these stories. These are some of my favorite stories when a guy just finally gets the championship and we can just shut up about Clayton Kershaw is no good. I mean, he's awesome. Shut up, everyone. He can play baseball. He can win at a high level. So that's all I just kind of wanted to say. Congratulations to Clayton Kershaw. He was not the MVP. Corey Seager wins MVP. So clap for him as well. And then another person we've got to call stupid. There's a lot of stupid people in baseball, apparently. Justin Turner, Mr. Big Brain. Justin Turner is a player for the LA Dodgers who, this is kind of confusing for some people. People are kind of confused on the timeline. So here's kind of what happened. Justin Turner and every other Dodgers and Rays player gets tested just before the game. And then those tests kind of get tested during the game. And during the game, it was found that he had a positive test. So they pulled him from the game. He wasn't allowed to go back in. And he had to sit out the rest of Game 7, which I'm sure was very upsetting and hard for him. But he had COVID-19. So he shouldn't have tested positive, you bum. But then, as soon as they win the trophy, here's Justin Turner sitting in the middle of the team photo, kissing everybody. He's kissing his wife. He's hugging and licking and spreading his germs everywhere. And, I mean, what an idiot. He's sitting... what? I just want to go, who allowed this to happen? How did they not kick him out of the building, first of all? How did he end up back in the middle of the field? And then how was he allowed to remain there for an extended amount of time, for the whole celebration, without a mask on, spreading his germs everywhere? I don't know. I think a lot of these conversations are me just kind of calling people stupid. I want to give you guys a chance to talk. But what do you think of this Justin Turner thing? It's crazy. Oh, and then one other thing I have to add. After the game, he tweeted out, sorry I couldn't be out with my teammates to celebrate. Justin Turner.
Everyone saw you.
Everyone saw you. There's a photo on the broadcast. You guys can't see it. Mark and Ryan, because you're on Zoom right now. But for everyone watching on YouTube, there's a picture of Justin Turner in the bottom left corner here. He is the most recognizable man on the face of the earth. He has a giant red beard and big giant red hair. And there's photos of him sitting in the middle of the team photo holding the trophy, all big smiles. There's like hundreds of photos of it. And then he tweets out, "Sorry I couldn't be out there." It's like, who? What? Do they think we're stupid? Like, I guess that's my question to you guys. Does Justin Turner think we're stupid?
Ryan, do you want to answer that?
Ryan?
So I don't know about that tweet, but I seen another tweet where he was thanking everybody for reaching out, and he was trying to justify, like, he's like, "Oh, like I feel great. I have no symptoms at all."
What?
And I like, just watching that as a fan, like, I don't know how you put that upon yourself. You put yourself in front of the team and you allow yourself to just say, "Oh, like, I have it, so like why not everybody else have it," kind of thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how he was let back on the field. I don't know how he wasn't escorted home right away. I don't know how they let any of it happen. But I mean,
yeah, it's like he's like, "Oh, well, I have no symptoms." It's like, hey, doofus, like, has nobody told you about the asymptomatic thing? Like,
yeah,
you think these guys would be educated on it by now? But I guess not.
I guess I'm on my own on this one. I don't know. I think it wasn't. No, well, yeah. I'll just give another opinion. It's not my actual opinion.
Okay.
Totally. He tested positive like the day before the game, correct?
Mhm.
And then the team thought it was a false positive,
That's
and
right.
so he got tested the day of the game,
Mm-hmm.
and his results came back in like the 7th or 8th inning. In a game that he was like already playing in and already like tossing the ball to his teammates and high fives, hugging, kissing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they told him to leave and like stay in the locker room. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn because he was already around the team throughout that whole day and during the game. And they just won the World Series, something that I'm sure he's been working towards for his whole life. So
For sure. No, and
I think
yeah,
yeah.
I get what
You
you're
should
saying.
have like at least shipped him out, like taking him
Yeah.
away from the stadium rather than just give him the responsibility to stay in the locker room on his own.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like you leave a 3-year-old in a room with a marshmallow and you say, "Don't eat the marshmallow." It's like, really? Of course the kid's gonna eat the marshmallow. You take him away. Who's responsible for this? Someone should have been someone from the league. First of all, it should have been Justin himself going. I'm just thinking right now of Odell Beckham Jr. Of the Cleveland Browns a couple weeks ago, who thought he had COVID, and he went to the team and he said, "I think I'm sick. I'm not coming in today," which was a great move. He's protecting his teammates. But Justin Turner's like, "Woohoo! I want to party." And this could very easily turn into a super spreader kind of type event. There was like 100 people on the field or whatever, and all those people could go spread to 100 other people. So yeah, just Justin Turner, come on, man. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. And then the MLB in general, I just kind of wanted to hit on real quick. I think they're kind of in trouble. One of you guys, was it Ryan, put this note in. They lost $3.1 billion during the pandemic. And a lot of that has to do with quick reshuffling the schedules, no fans. But I think where you get the 3.1 with a B is having to compete with the NFL and the NBA. And to me, my initial thought, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. If the MLB ever has to compete with the NFL or the NBA again, they are dead. If this becomes a regular thing for them, where they're having to compete with those other two sports, there is no airspace for the MLB left. Not enough people care. I think I saw a stat a while back that their average viewership age is 65, which is not good. That's not what you want. In case that's a quick lesson in demographics, you don't want your main audience to be 65 plus. No offense to the 65 plus group, but you are not the key demographic. Um, so I don't know. What do you guys just think of that, about that statement I just made? Um, any thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah. So like main revenue for the MLB is like fan revenue, like stadium
Mm-hmm.
revenue, like people coming to games. Like baseball is a terrible sport to watch on TV. So
Awful.
boring. Um, and if you have to compete with football and basketball, given like the athletes that they have in the leagues right now, and it was like playoff season as well,
Yeah.
like no one's gonna watch that. And if they have to compete with them for the rest of the future years,
No.
yeah, we might be watching college baseball instead.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Um,
know if I'll be watching college baseball, but
yeah.
yeah, Ryan.
I don't think they'll die because I think there's
Hmm.
enough fans to keep them going, maybe.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think they're going to do well either. So, um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just thought it was wild because there actually was fans for that for like the
Hmm.
last bit of the MLB season. So I thought that was wild too. But
Yeah, that was interesting. They started letting just kind of a few people in, like the NFL has, which I don't mind. I think there's ways to do that properly. I think there are ways to do that. But the MLB better figure out a way to schedule their season where they are not overlapping with those other two sports. The NHL, I find, kind of exists in its own world, and you don't really get much overlap in the fandom. Just kind of in my personal experience, but I find like baseball and football have a lot of overlap in the people that watch. Um, so yeah, I just think baseball's in a bit of a predicament there.